call, and I was told, well, anytime you're welcome to come. So I got in my car, drove up to the place. By the looks of the ranch I could tell that a real hand was pulling the reins. So I walked up and rang the bell. To my surprise, it was a red-haired gal who was the one running the show. And I soon found out there wasn't a thing about broncs that she didn't know. She put the hands to work, and I could tell she wasn't raised neath another's wing. For I didn't even finish getting rosined up when she rounded up the bucking string. She filled the chutes and right away started to flanking the hoss. Never in my life ever seen the likes of this female wrangler boss. I didn't want to look bad in front of such a girl to make a ride she called second rate. As I eased in the saddle, she said, hang and rattle, I'm ready to open the gate. Now a cowboy's got to keep his mind upon the horse he's trying to ride, and that's tough to do when you're bewitched by a girl's red hair and blue eyes. Well, I tried to keep my mind in the middle of the horse and the thoughts to improve my style. And then I nodded to the red-headed gate woman. She cracked both the gate and a smile. I fed him the shanks and come to hook, and as the pony began to unwind, I started having trouble and began to grab double. That gal was still in my mind. As I flew from the saddle, I landed on my back, feet overhead and straining my seams. She said that wasn't too bad of a ride, except you tore out the seat of your jeans. Needless to say, I felt 1 inch tall and commenced to getting sick. For at best, I looked like a gunsel in front of this red-haired chick. With a sheepish glance, I said I'll change my pants, if you all don't mind, and try another bronc later. I'm sure I'll do better next time. So I thought it best to start thinking about the broncs instead, and to concentrate and put the girl at the gate into the back of my head. And sure enough, on the very next bronc, I redeemed myself with pride. All did agree, including she. It was a heck of a ride. Now let me warn you cowboys, keep your face from getting red. Don't nod to a red-headed gate woman, just call for your stock instead. It's a short night, a mighty long road. My trailer's swaying to and fro. It's a short night, a mighty long road. Timed event meant to a rodeo. The road is fuzzy and oh, my back is aching like it never ever has before. The sun is rising over the mountain, got my foot clear down to the floor. Oh, I'm weary, head is a knot, so tired I can hardly see. Sometimes I wonder why I keep a going. Timed event blues are killing me. I can't stop long, just have a cup of coffee. My name is listed up among the best. I gotta keep a going, pushing for the championship. I can't afford to take the time to rest. That old middle line just keeps on a-going. That's all I see and never nothing new. My head gets to nodding, that old middle line divides down the middle right in two. Oh, I'm weary, head is a knot, so tired I can hardly see. Sometimes I wonder why I keep a going. Timed event blues are killing me. Low beam, high beam, starting to yawn. Wonder if the day is as the night is long. Hey buddy, please dim your lights. Already had my close call tonight. Hey truck driver, as I pass you by, I'll wave to you 'cause you're a heck of a guy, but I'm tired of breathing the smoke from your stack, and I can't be slowed by a Jimmy or Mac. Oh, I'm weary, head is a knot, so tired I can hardly see. Sometimes I wonder why I keep a going. Timed event blues are killing me. I like do-gooders, they're all nice folks. That's the general rule. But there's a few who are really good at playing dirty pool. They claim to be animal experts and detest the buck-in strap, but they know even less about the thing that purrs there on their lap. They say it hurts the intestine, but you know I've never felt any pain at all by keeping my jeans up with a belt. Take the girdle women wear or the corset with its slats. They cause much more discomfort than a harmless bucking strap. They'd outlaw the use of the hot shot and the sting of its sensation, but this would lead to cruder ways and means of motivation. They criticize, but yet they can't a better way recommend. Perhaps they'd rather see a board with a nail affixed in the end. They placed a spy amongst the band at a recent rodeo, but all the sweet thing really saw was a heck of a real good show. Now I know nothing of spying, but she ought to realize that humane groups of prominence at rodeos supervise. Do-gooders all mean well, I'm sure, but some appear quite lax, for they're not able to discern the fiction from the fact. If they take the time to seek the truth, I'm sure without a doubt, it's the cowboy's health and not the stock they'd be concerned about. To say that all humane groups take this view is wrong. SPCA and others with a cowboy get along. They try and work together, and it sure does seem a shame that do-gooders who just condemn can't seem to do the same. I drove my car on up to Iowa in a 48 model, that's a long, long way. Fred said, "Son, you've come out of hiding." I said, "Yeah, to do some saddle bronc riding." I was feeling real good and I didn't have a care. Saw my buddy Larry Brandon was there. I asked him what I drew, he made the sign of the cross. He said, "You're gonna rattle with the big paint horse." I said, "Larry, what does he do?" He said, "Johnny, I don't wanna scare you, but take a deep seat and a deeper deep breath, 'cause the big paint horse will beat you to death." The saddle bronc riding soon was underway. Larry threw the steel to the tough Lee's bay. Spurring fore and aft, he was reaching for some hide. The paint was looking down at me, I was next to ride. I climbed the gate, they were shaking his mane. Straddled the chute and measured the rein. I eased in the saddle, Larry handed me the coffin. I said a little prayer, though I don't pray often. I sat outside, cracked a great big smile, fed him the steel and the paint went wild. He crashed with a clamor and a tremor to the earth. With 3 whole quarters of a 1 ton's worth, the world went wild and spinning around like the devil himself came out of the ground. I really took a licking with his high back kicking. Paint horse was coming wild. He'd jump in the sky, then break apart. This old pony would buck with his heart. He'd beller and bawl so everyone could hear, with head bowed low and 2 pin ears like a broken doll. I was hurting bad. This old pony was mighty mad. Old paint horse about had me beat. 99 times I lost my seat. Call it bad luck, call it fate. Paint horse and I did separate. Next time we meet, I take a deeper deep seat and a deeper deep breath, 'cause the big paint horse will beat you to death. The big paint horse will beat you to death. I was riding at a small rodeo, and the first go-round of just one, when an old man came back of the chutes and said, "Do you remember me, son?" Well, I looked at the old man and said, "Why, I saw you ride at Cheyenne." And then his sad eyes seemed to brighten a bit, as though they said, "Why, he really knows who I am." So we talked a bit about rodeo and the changes that had come to the game, but I never really saw him before, and I didn't even know the man's name. He talked about the things he'd done, but he wasn't a Windy Bill. He was just a poor old cowboy who done passed over the hill. I said, "Yeah, that was sure a good ride, the one you made at Cheyenne. I was just a little boy, but I was your biggest fan." So I asked the old man if he'd come over and sit around by the campfire's light. We could talk about rodeo and swap yarns clear into the night. But he said no and shook his head. "But I sure do thank you, son. You know, an old man has got to get his rest, and my rodeo days are done." As the old fella left, I felt kind of bad that I couldn't place the man, but it made me feel better that at least he thought I remembered his ride at Cheyenne. You're asking me just what it's like to try the Bronco and ride. What is going on in my mind as I try to scratch in the hide? Well, all I can hear was my rosin popping and feel the rain burning through my hand. And with every jump, all I could taste was the wrath of the oncoming sand. All I could see were two panniers and the cantle was a-beating at my back. Then all of a sudden 2 toes would appear, followed up by a whole lot of slack. Some other world would come up in my face, pop a dido and away it would go. Just me and my saddle up in the air, and I can't see nothing down below. I can hear the great divide dividing every time the Bronco hit the ground. And the sounds of the crowd came ringing in my ear, but you know I never ever heard a sound. I heard a whistle blow 100 times, a repetition of a bad dream. In a tenth of a second I relived the time putting slugs in the gumball machine. 100 times I felt a pedal blow and wished that I was safely on the ground. You know it seems like a million years for the pickup man puts you down. Now this is a little of what it's like to try the Bronco and ride. Well, you'll never know really what it's like till you try to scratch in the hide. 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 Till you try. Woke up this morning, snow was falling down. Looked out my window, there must have been a foot on the ground. I sweated out again, I said, like I did the year before. But it isn't long, I'm nervous and pacing the floor. Every year it happens, just don't know what to do. All winter is here, and I've got the rodeo blues. I keep looking from my window, wish the snow would go away, but the clouds keep a-gathering, bringing more each day. It isn't long till I go get my war bag and take up my gear. 100 times I've checked it, so it'll be ready next year. Every year it happens, I just don't know what to do. All winter is here, and I've got the rodeo blues. Then I go to my room and turn on the lamp at my desk. Take out my rodeo papers, subscriptions I like the best. I read them carefully over, then I read them over again. Look up and stare out the window, wishing the winter would end. Every year it happens, I just don't know what to do. All winter is here, and I got the rodeo blues. Then after eternal waiting, and the snow is left in the ground, you'll hear me give out a holler, 'cause I'll be rodeo bound. I ride and rope all that I can, 'cause I know it'll start it again. And before you know, you'll hear my lament, oh, winter is here again. Every year it happens, I just don't know what to do. All winter is here, and I got the rodeo blues. Winter is here, and I got the rodeo blues. Have you ever made a rodeo and feeling extra good? You had your mind upon it and you just knew you could. And when your ride was over, you gave the crowd a smile. You had that first place feeling, you grinned a country mile. But when you heard them tell your score down, went that feeling quick. You ain't got a prayer, boy, you ain't in the click. Have you ever had the toughest mount in the entire draw, and something at your insides constantly did crawl? And when that whistle finally blew and you were still aboard, you knew for sure that this time the first place you had scored. But when you heard them tell your score down, went that feeling quick. You ain't got a prayer, boy, you ain't in the click. Have you ever rode a tough one, best ride you ever made? There was no doubt about it, this time you'd made the grade. The pickup man set you down, the crowd began to roar. The people all were sure you'd won and waited for the score. But when you heard them tell your score down, went that feeling quick. You ain't got a prayer, boy, you ain't in the click. Have you gone to part of the country where you ain't never been, where you drew a jam-up horse and were sure that you could win? You held your spurs up in his neck an extra jump or two, but you can't see that mean old judge has turned his back on you. And when you heard them tell your score down, went that feeling quick. You ain't got a prayer, boy, you ain't in the click. 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 Old Red Devil was an outlaw. Came from an outlaw band. Fetched only $35, but he was spared from the killer man's hand. Now he's with the rodeo, doing the thing that he can. He's happy now, thank the Lord, somehow he was spared from the killer man's hand. Old Red Devil was a color of the sun setting over our land. That's why they call him Red Devil, but he'd eat right out of your hand. Now he's with the rodeo, doing the thing that he can. He's happy now, He's happy now, thank the Lord, somehow he was spared from the killer man's hand. Old Red Devil was Satan desired, illicitly but Beelzebub. And if you drew him, you'd find your name written next to his in blood. Now he's with the rodeo, doing the thing that he can. He's happy now, thank the Lord, somehow he was spared from the killer man's hand. 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 There are lots of pretty cowgirls, but this you may not know. There's a very special kind at every rodeo. Her husband is a cowboy, and she's his greatest fan. She's the wife behind the cowboy, and the cowboy's a lucky man. She's hauled water from a creek, got dust all over her clothes. Been so hot she thought she'd die, and so cold she nearly froze. She's cooked over an open fire, slept under the stars above, and she'd do it over again to be with the man she loves. She rides the circuit with her man, they go from town to town. She bucks up his confidence if the horses buck him down. She has driven weary miles across an endless land. She's the wife behind the cowboy, and the cowboy's a lucky man. When he gets down in the chute and about to start his ride, she cheers more than anyone with a special kind of pride. And when she hears that whistle blow and sees her cowboy smile, she's glad because he's happy, that makes it all worthwhile. She's on the move and seldom home, but yet she won't complain. If her cowboy's back is aching, she'll rub away the pain. And whether things are good or bad, right by him she will stand. She's the wife behind the cowboy, and the cowboy's a lucky man. And the cowboy's a lucky man. I just turned 18 and graduated cum laude from the senior high. They said I was college material, but Lord, you should have heard them cry. When I said I'd go to college, but was taking just a 2-week course, I was going to be a cowboy, get my learning on a bucking horse. I answered the ad in the sports news and shortly received a reply. And it wasn't long till I left the world of the white shirt, the collar and tie. I was soon to be a cowboy, and who knows, maybe a star. I was really looking forward to this annual seminar. When I arrived, I met the professors. One was a feller named Rip. The other one walked softly, but he carried a great big whip. I asked them how much practice stock they intended to provide, and the one with the whip then asked me how many I intended to ride. From the gist of the conversation, all the pupils did agree we'd all be real bronc stompers before they gave us our degree. We were told to follow instructions and we better not make a slip, 'cause the one who wielded the pointer was prone to use the whip. We started out kinda easy, see what each one could endure. Then marking out using the rein, and finally how to spur. They kept on bringing in horses, put the toughs in after a while. And it wasn't long till some of the boys were riding with a pretty good style. For the next 2 weeks we learned our lick, and many a fall was taken. But it was on that college campus we saw cowboys in the making. And when our rodeo schooling was over, not a single one did fail. We all felt we were ready to hit the rodeo trail. But as the graduates departed, each going on a separate way, the PhD of all bronc riders had a few words to say. He explained that to be a real hand would take more than just 2 weeks. But here we learned fundamentals that could lead to a winning streak. So if you want to be a real cowboy, it takes a certain kind of knowledge. Don't be a dropout, stay in school and go to a rodeo college. 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 I used to be a tough one upon the bronco, but I drew a bad one a short time ago. I hung to the stirrup and he thrashed me around. Now Risky rides with me in every go-around. But Whiskey won't help me to ride the bronco. Whiskey, go away and leave me alone. I'll miss you, Whiskey, till the day that I die. But Whiskey, you're pushing, so Whiskey, bye-bye. I'm calm as can be until rodeo time. As things move along, I'll start to unwind. So I call on Whiskey to come and help me. Together we're reckless and wild as can be. But Whiskey won't help me to ride the bronco. Whiskey, go away and leave me alone. I'll miss you, Whiskey, till the day that I die. But Whiskey, you're pushing, so Whiskey, bye-bye. We're the best of companions, everyone knows. And I've heard them say, where I go, he goes. When Whiskey and I are both side by side, Whiskey and I are both ready to ride. But Whiskey won't help me to ride the bronco. Whiskey, go away and leave me alone. I'll miss you, Whiskey, till the day that I die. But Whiskey, you're pushing, so Whiskey, bye-bye. Now Whiskey, oh partner, you've been a good friend, but I think it's best for our friendship to end. You know I'm grateful you've helped me so much, but the truth of it all is you make a poor crutch. Whiskey won't help me to ride the bronco. Whiskey, go away and leave me alone. I'll miss you, Whiskey, till the day that I die. But Whiskey, you're pushing, so Whiskey, bye-bye. Whiskey, you're pushing, so Whiskey, bye-bye. I'm away out here in the Ozark Hills, hear the calling of the whippoorwills. Get up early and be on the go. Gotta make the Little Rock Rodeo. Gotta make the Little Rock Rodeo. There's a lot more work yet to be done, but down the road there's a lot more fun. I like work with time for play. There's a rodeo in Little Rock today. I'm away out here in the Ozark Hills, I hear the calling of the whippoorwills. Get up early and be on the go. Gotta make the Little Rock Rodeo. Gotta make the Little Rock Rodeo. I'll think of this and think of that. The neighbor can feed the dogs and cat. The bobby calves can make it now. I'll let them suck on the old milk cow. I'm away out here in the Ozark Hills, hear the calling of the whippoorwills. Get up early and be on the go. Gotta make the Little Rock Rodeo. Gotta make the Little Rock Rodeo. I'll climb into my pickup truck, 90,000 miles and lots of luck. They can see the smoke from my exhaust and hear the roar at the farm across. I'm away out here in the Ozark Hills, I hear the calling of the whippoorwills. Get up early and be on the go. Gotta make the Little Rock Rodeo. Gotta make the Little Rock Rodeo. For the rooster crows, I'll be gone, be halfway there as I greet the dawn. As it's dark and the night is still, be back with the call of the whippoorwill. I'm away out here in the Ozark Hills, I hear the calling of the whippoorwills. Get up early and be on the go. Gotta make the Little Rock Rodeo. Gotta make the Little Rock Rodeo.